Hello, my name is Brady Whitlow. I'm the president of Corto Olive Company here in Lodi, California. Corto is a family-owned company dedicated to producing truly extra virgin olive oil. Our family's patriarch, my father-in-law, Dino Cortopassi, has been farming in this area his entire life. Dino is constantly looking for new opportunities for our family in California agriculture. Growing up Italian, Dino fondly remembers the wonderful taste of fresh olive oil that he experienced when visiting relatives in Lucca, Italy as a young boy. Ever since, Dino has been searching here in America for that fresh olive oil flavor that he remembers from those early trips to Italy. After years of looking, Dino finally discovered a unique method of growing and harvesting olives that results in that fresh-tasting olive oil he remembers as a boy. This new method of planting olives for olive oil is called high-density or vineyard-style planting. Vineyard-style planting allows us to manage our olive trees so that we can harvest our olives at the ideal maturity for fresh-tasting oil. This is when the olives are just beginning to turn from green to violet. An important part of this vineyard-style planting method is our use of specially designed machines with gentle picking fingers. These delicate picking fingers replace the hand harvesting that was used by Dino's relatives in Italy. Today I'm going to share with you the key differences between Corto's vineyard-style method of planting olives for olive oil and European-style methods of planting olives for olive oil. For thousands of years, Mediterranean countries have produced quality olive oil by hand harvesting olives in October and November. This is when the olives are just beginning to turn from green to violet and the oil is at its peak of flavor. Truly extra virgin olive oil is unique from all other culinary oils because it is simply fresh pressed juice from olives just turning from green to violet. The freshness of the fruit is what makes the oil so flavorful and healthy. Throughout history, olive oil relied on hand harvesting and has always been a labor-intensive product. However, in traditional olive oil producing countries, as people have moved from farms to cities, traditional olive growers have lost their labor source. This lack of labor, combined with the overwhelming number of olive trees, means that Mediterranean olive oil producers can no longer harvest by hand as Dino's family once did. Additionally, because of lack of water and their rocky, hilly terrain, they cannot adopt the new vineyard-style growing method. Consequently, the only viable way to harvest so many trees with limited labor is by shaking or beating the olives off the trees onto nets or directly onto the ground. In October and November, when the olives are just beginning to turn from green to violet and the oil is at its maximum freshness, olive stems are too strong to allow the olives to be shaken off. As the olives turn black and age on the trees, the stems begin to weaken. The botanical term for this is called abscission. Abscission does not occur enough for the olives to be shaken off until January or later. Consequently, the European olive oil producers have no choice but to delay their harvest until the olives are past maturity and the oil is no longer fresh. By their own admission, over 70% of their olives are harvested in January or later. To understand what is lost with this late harvest, we have to go back to the early season when the olives are still green. As I mentioned earlier, the flavor and health attributes in extra virgin olive oil are at their peak when the fruit is just beginning to change color. This occurs in October and November. The desirable compounds in olive oil that give it its flavor and health attributes are called polyphenols. These are antioxidants that inhibit the oxidation and decay of the fruit. They also provide olive oil with its unique flavor and health benefits. As the fruit turns black on the trees, these beneficial antioxidants dissipate until the oil that remains is neither flavorful nor healthful. As decay begins to occur in the black olives, the oil in these olives begins to develop undesirable flavors associated with fermentation. In order to render this oil edible, European producers must refine their oil to remove off flavors and odors. They do this using standard oil refining methods of chemical scrubbing and high heat processing. There's an old Italian saying that you can't make good wine from bad grapes. Likewise, you can't make good olive oil from old olives. In contrast to Europe's traditional planting methods, we grow our olives exclusively using the new vineyard-style method of planting, using traditional varieties of olive trees. Much like grapevines, we train our trees on trellises and prune them into hedgerows. This allows us to harvest the fruit using over-the-row harvesters. These highly specialized harvesters have gentle picking fingers that allow us to harvest our olives in October and November when the fruit is just turning from green to violet and the oil is at its peak of freshness. This effective planting and harvest method ensures that we complete our season before December, when cold weather can damage oil quality. We transport the fresh fruit to our mill within hours and immediately mill the fruit using first cold press technology. Notice here the green olives with a hint of violet. Leading-edge technology no longer uses hydraulic presses to squeeze oil from the olives, but instead uses modern centrifuge technology, which allows us to separate the oil with minimal exposure to oxygen. Once extracted, we immediately transfer our oil to our climate-controlled cellar. We maintain our oil quality and integrity in stainless steel casks, which are void of damaging light, heat, and air. Prior to filling, each tank is purged of oxygen using nitrogen. Furthermore, after each tank is filled, we protect our oil with a nitrogen blanket. We maintain our oil in this way until it is ready to be packaged and sold. As in our cellars, we blanket our oil in our packages with a layer of nitrogen. I hope this has been useful in helping you understand the fundamental differences between European and Corto's Californian olive oil production.